Hi, my name is Oliver. I'm a spray tan technician, and I just started this side hustle a few months ago when I first got the call to tan one of the country's top bodybuilders before his championship. I thought it would be a routine gig, but when Rafe stepped into the room, everything changed. He didn't say hello, didn't offer a handshake, just looked me up and down and said, "You ever tanned a guy this big before?" That was it. No greeting, no smile, just a low voice and a challenge, like he was testing if I'd flinch. He didn't smirk exactly, it was more like a lazy challenge curled across his lips, half amusement, half boredom, like he'd done this a dozen times before and already knew how people would react to him. I didn't react. Yeah, I lied. Plenty. He stepped into the hotel room, ducking his head slightly under the low door frame. The guy was huge. Rafe. That's all the coordinator had told me. No last name, no backstory. Just Rafe. Built like a marble statue, arms and veins like steel cables, chest full and cut, narrow waist, legs thick and powerful. His skin already glowed golden from training in the sun, but for the stage, he needed to be bronze. That was my job. He stood still in the center of the room, took his shirt off, barefoot, and wearing only his posing trunks. He didn't say anything as I adjusted the airbrush machine, but I could feel his eyes on me the whole time. Quiet, observant, intense. Normally, I'd start with small talk, something about the show or the heat or the spray pressure, but something about him made me quiet. He didn't seem like he wanted to be talked to, but he watched. Watched me glove up, watched me test the sprayer, watched me step toward him like I was about to paint fire across his body. "Turn to the left," I said softly. He did. I started at the calves, working my way up. Slow, smooth motions. Precision. The machine hissed like a whisper between us. When I reached his thighs, he glanced down and said, "You've got really steady hands." I didn't look up helps when someone doesn't flinch. "I don't," he said. Ever. That was our first conversation. The second session was the next evening. He came alone this time. No girl with him. Just Rafe and his duffel bag. I had everything ready before he arrived. The machine. The towels. The solution. "You always work alone?" he asked as he peeled his shirt off. "Usually. Don't you get lonely?" I blinked. "That's a weird question," he shrugged. "Just wondering." He stood under the lights, arms at his sides, chest rising and falling in a slow, steady rhythm. There was a quiet tension in the air this time, like he wanted something but didn't know what. I began again, back, shoulders, arms. His skin soaked the bronze like it was built to wear it. "You like doing this?" he asked. "Tanning?" "Yeah." I hesitated. I like the part where someone trusts me to see them close up. He looked down. "Is that what this is? Trust? I'm touching your body, making you stage. Perfect. That takes trust." He was quiet for a long time after that. As I worked around his ribs, he suddenly asked, "What made you start doing this?" "Spray tanning." "Yeah." I paused, then admitted, "My brother used to compete. He was a lot like you, intense, driven. He needed help. So I learned to tan him. Then I just kept going." He turned his head slightly toward me. "Is he still competing?" I swallowed. "No, he passed away 3 years ago." The silence that followed felt like an inhale held too long. "Sorry," he said quietly. "I didn't know." "It's okay. You couldn't have." By session 3, something had shifted. He was quieter, less guarded, maybe even nervous. His eyes wouldn't meet mine at first, but when they did, they lingered longer. "How long you been doing this?" he asked as I worked across his lower back. "About 4 years." Ever done it for someone you were attracted to? I paused. My heart stuttered once, then steadied. I try not to think about that when I'm working. That's not a no. I pulled the sprayer back and looked at him. He was grinning, but it was nervous. Testing. Something in his tone had cracked open. I'm serious, he said. Ever wonder what the guy's thinking when you're that close? Sometimes. What do you think I'm thinking now? I stared at him. He stared back. I took a slow breath. I think you're trying to figure something out, he said. Nothing. I added, and I think you're scared of the answer. Later that night, after he left, I sat alone in the hotel room, thinking about the way his voice had changed when he said my name at the end. Just once, quiet, like he wasn't sure he was allowed to say it. I found myself looking at his competition profile online. He was more than just brawn. He had discipline, a history of small town wins that led to this national qualifier. There were old photos too, him with friends, a girl on his arm, beer in hand, but in every one, his smile didn't quite reach his eyes. Session 4, final day before the show. He was late. 15 minutes, then 30. I nearly packed up, and then he arrived. Hair messy, hoodie on, something heavy in his face. Sorry, he said. I almost didn't come. You okay? He nodded, but it didn't reach his eyes. She broke up with me, he said, unzipping his hoodie and dropping it on the chair. The girl from the first day, he nodded. She said I wasn't there. Said I was hiding from something. Maybe from her. Maybe from myself. He stood there in his trunks again, but suddenly he looked more naked than ever. I didn't say anything, just turned the machine on and motioned for him to stand. He didn't move. Instead, he said, I had this moment a week ago during the second session. You were doing my shoulders and you didn't say anything. You didn't try anything. You just saw me like no one ever has. My throat tightened. I didn't know what to do with it, he said. Still don't. I stepped forward slowly, machine in hand. Letting the sound fill the silence, I sprayed his chest, his arms, his stomach. Every breath he took was shallow, measured like he was holding something back. When I got to his face, I stopped. He looked at me. I want to kiss you, he said quietly, but I'm afraid it'll ruin everything. I took a step back, not away, just space. Then don't kiss me yet, I said. Just stand there. Let me see you. And he did. He stood still, letting me tan the rest of him like I was painting memory onto his skin. And when I was done, we didn't speak. He just took his towel, nodded, and left. Show day. I watched from backstage, not working that shift, just observing. Rafe walked across the stage like a king, bronze gleaming, smile barely there, third place. His name echoed through the speaker. He lifted the medal and smiled, but his eyes scanned the crowd like he was looking for something or someone. He found me. Just a flicker, a flash of recognition, and something like warmth. That moment felt like a thread pulling us forward. Days passed, then a week. I figured that was it. A moment, nothing more. Until last night, a knock at my apartment door. I opened it to find him there, jacket zipped up, duffel in hand, like he'd just gotten off a train. I'm not here to mess things up, he said. Then what are you here for? I'm here because I can't stop thinking about how it felt when you touched me. I raised an eyebrow. Touched you? He blushed. Not like that. I mean, it wasn't just the spray. It was the way you looked at me like you weren't expecting anything from me, and somehow that made me want to give you everything. I stepped aside. He walked in. He put his bag down and looked around my apartment like it was a safe house, a home. Then he turned to me. I don't know how to be with a guy, he said. I don't know the rules. I don't know if I'm gay or bi or just confused. I stepped closer. You don't need to know any of that. You just need to be honest with yourself. He nodded slowly, and then he took my hand. Not hard, not desperate, just gently, like he was finally letting go of something he carried for too long. We sat on the couch for an hour. No kissing, no labels, just talking. And when he leaned his head against my shoulder, I let him stay there. Not because I needed him to love me, but because, for the first time, he wasn't afraid to. Outside, the city pulsed quietly beneath our window, and inside, a slow kind of hope began to bloom. 2 weeks later, just as we began figuring out what this new connection meant, life threw a curveball. It started with a text. I saw his face change the moment he read it. His posture stiffened, his smile faded. He didn't say anything right away. He just slipped his phone back into his pocket like it had set something loose in him. What is it? I asked. He rubbed the back of his neck. It's her. Her? The ex? Carly a beat she wants to meet. Says she made a mistake. Oh. He looked at me, guilt heavy in his expression. We were friends before we dated. A long time, actually, since high school. It wasn't just a fling. I nodded slowly. You don't owe me an explanation, but I want to explain. He shifted closer, voice low. I like what's happening here. You and me. It feels good. Real. But I can't lie. Carly was a big part of my life. When I first started training, she supported me when no one else did. Do you still love her? I asked quietly. I don't know, he admitted. I don't think so, but part of me is still attached to who we used to be. There was a long silence. I finally said, then go see her, talk to her, find out what's really there. You need closure, Rafe. Maybe she does too. His eyes flickered. And what if I realize I made a mistake with you? I smiled gently. Then I guess it'll hurt, but I'd rather you be honest than stay out of guilt. He sat in silence for a moment, staring at the floor. Then he stood. I'll meet her tomorrow, he said, but no matter what, I'm coming back to talk to you. The next day felt endless. Every message notification made my stomach twist. I kept replaying our last moment, his hand in mine, his voice quiet and unsure. Part of me wondered if I'd ever see him again. And then, around 8 p.m., a knock on the door. When I opened it, Rafe stood there, a soft rain dripping from his hoodie. His eyes looked clearer, tired but clearer. She wanted to try again, he said, and I told her no. A breath caught in my throat. She cried. He went on. She said I was making a mistake. That I was confused that being with a guy wasn't real. It was just a phase, a reaction to losing her. But you know what I realized while she was talking? I shook my head. I realized I wasn't confused at all. I was scared. Scared of letting someone new in. Scared of being seen. But you saw me from the first second. No judgment. No expectations. He stepped closer, and the truth is, when I'm around you, I feel more myself than I ever did with her. I didn't respond right away. I just let the words land, sink in. Then I stepped aside and let him in from the rain. He pulled off his soaked hoodie, revealing the soft tank top beneath, his competition tan still faint on his skin. You're still glowing, I said, half teasing. He laughed quietly. Yeah, well, you did a damn good job. He stepped close again, eyes searching mine. I think I'm ready now, he whispered. For what? To finally kiss you. This time I didn't step back. This time I leaned in. And for the first time, We didn't need words to feel the truth between us. So, thanks for watching until the end. Subscribe for more. See you.